Good morning, everyone. This is Todd Brow with Senior Insurance Marketing. And for our webinar today, we're going to talk about the cancer, heart attack, and stroke product from Cigna. And to tell us more about this product, I have Jim Codney with Cigna. And matter of fact, I just heard word last night, a friend of mine had a stroke and basically it's kind of perfect timing because it kind of made me think of the cancer, heart attack, and stroke from Cigna that would come in handy in in the times that you do have a cancer or a heart attack or stroke. So to tell us more about this product is Jim Codney with Cigna. Jim, welcome aboard, and can you tell us more about this product?
Hi, Todd. Thanks. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we'll hopefully take roughly about half an hour to go through the product. You know, it's very interesting that you said, Todd, unfortunately, you had somebody that you care about that you heard had a stroke. We've had some really close friends and people we know, unfortunately, get diagnosed with cancer recently. One of my best friends in the insurance industry, his wife, got diagnosed recently with cancer. One of our friends' mothers got diagnosed with brain cancer. So it does drive home the need for a product like this. And unfortunately, horrible diseases like cancer, cardiovascular diseases, they don't slow down or stop just because we're in a pandemic. So we'll take a little bit today to go through our product. Guys, I'm here for you. So if you have questions, please type them in the question box. We'll try and answer as many of those as we can at the end of the presentation. Todd, thank you to you and my friends at Senior Insurance Marketing for inviting me. We've worked together for a long time, and I always enjoy to be able to participate in your webinar. So with that, we'll get going. But before we get into product, I want to talk a little bit just for a second about our company and what our mission is. And you see it on your screen. I'm going to boil this down to Cigna has changed our focus from waiting until people get sick to take care of them to now focusing on health care instead of just sick care. Yes, of course, we're an insurance company, guys. So God forbid if our clients get sick, we do what we need to do and we take care of them. But what we're really trying to do is promote more active, fulfilled lives. That's great for everybody in the circle of this. It's great for your customers because when they're more active, living a more fulfilled life, it's obviously better for them. It's great for us as a company because typically when they do that, they're healthier. They aren't going in having as many claims, which in turn is really good for you because we're able to keep better rate, better products on the market. So it's a win-win-win for everybody involved. Let's talk about Cigna just for a minute. I know everybody on the call has heard of our company. You know, we're an internationally recognized brand. We're actually, if you did not know, we're a Fortune 13 company. So if your customer ever wonders, hey, if I do have cancer, is Cigna going to be able to pay my claim? With confidence, I want you to say, of course they can. You know, we've worked really hard as a corporation to achieve a Fortune 15 ranking, and we aren't looking to stop there. A couple other things that are probably important to you is how quick we issue policies. Right now, if your app comes in good business, they're typically issued within 2 to 3 days. I know the screen says 3 to 5 days. That's our service benchmark, but right now it's about 2 to 3 days if everything comes in good order, and we pay commissions daily. So once we issue, you get paid the next business day. So really nice way to work with us on a product like this. So I'm going to talk in generalities. If you work and sell in states, please check on Agent View, and you can find if there's any differences for your state. For instance, this product is available $18 to $99 in most states. One of the big outliers is the state of California. It's $18 to $64 there. We'll talk about all the riders available as we go, so don't worry about reading through that right now. And the product can be sold rate-wise a few different ways. It can be sold to an individual It can be sold to a couple. It can be sold single parent. And if it's sold single parent, it covers children in the household up to the age of 26 in most states, as well as family rates. So again, would cover kids up to the age of 26 in most states. It's a lump sum benefit anywhere from $5,000 to $75,000 per bucket of money for cancer and heart attack and stroke. And you can put that in any increment between $5,000 and $75,000 in $1,000 increments. So it's really flexible to the client's need and their budget. Now, our underwriting, one of the things I want to highlight is not only that it's simplified underwriting, is that we don't ask family history. We don't ask tobacco questions in our underwriting. So there's still companies out there that when you write a cancer product, they're asking about family history or they're asking about tobacco use. We do not underwrite for that. So again, it helps you be able to write more people at a competitive rate. So on your screen right now is where the product's available. So if you live and or sell in a state that is dark blue, it will have pretty much everything we talk about today. If you're in one of the few green states, those won't have the last four riders. I'll make sure to call those out when we get there. And if you sell in Wyoming, unfortunately, it's only heart attack and stroke available in Wyoming right now. We're working. The DOI had a change in statute, so we're addressing that currently. And then Idaho, Virginia, and New York, right now we currently do not have product. Eventually we do expect to have it in Idaho. I'm not sure if we'll ever get into Virginia or New York. So this is where you would check on HNP to see what's available in your state. It has every product we sell by every state and shows what's available in it. So as you can see, you can look here and find out what riders, what base policy, et cetera, are available in the states that you sell. If you have any questions or something's not clear, what I'd suggest you do is reach out to Todd and his team over there at Senior Insurance Marketing. They've been doing business on this product with us for many, many years. They're very well versed, so they'll probably be able to answer your question. And if not, they've got easy access to get a hold of me and my team, and we can help you out. So let's talk a little bit about the need. I know some of you on the call today have sold products like this in the past, and some of you are brand new trying to consider adding this to your portfolio. Well, it's really important, especially if you're brand new or maybe if you've been unsuccessful selling a product like this, that you understand the need. Now, obviously, you guys heard Todd and I talk about people we know being diagnosed recently. That's pretty common. I was in a agent conference in Dallas about 2 years ago and stood up in front of a room of over 300 insurance agents. I was going to do this training, and I said, okay, guys, I'm going to make this easy. Who in here has not been impacted by cancer in their lifetime? Had a friend or a family member that was dear to you get diagnosed? Well, out of those roughly 350 agents in the room, one agent raised her hand. I still remember it today. Young lady about 3 or 4 rows back, slightly to the left of me, only person in the room that said they had never been impacted by cancer. It just goes to show you it's a devastating disease that really impacts all of us. But let's talk statistics a little bit. Almost 40% of us, men or women, are going to be diagnosed with cancer in our lifetime. What a great opportunity to educate our clients on that, because I'm sure most of our clients do not realize that. And right now, if you look at the cost, in 2015, so about 6 years ago, there was about $183 billion spent here in the U.S. on cancer. If you fast forward to 20 years, so in 2035, it's going to go up to about $246 billion. Again, a product like this can help offset that financial peril that your client might experience by giving them a benefit to help pay copays, deductibles, and those other expenses. You know, every couple of seconds, somebody in the U.S. actually has a heart attack, and every 40 seconds, somebody has a stroke. Stroke is the leading cause of disability here in the U.S., with roughly 92 million people living with after effects of a stroke. But probably the scariest thing when I think about statistics is that top middle statistic, that almost 70% of Americans cannot afford an unexpected $1,000 bill. Well, folks, if they can't afford $1,000 of unexpected bills, how in the world are they going to be able to afford the copays, deductibles, loss of work, and everything else that could come with a diagnosis of internal cancer, with a diagnosis of a heart attack or need of a heart transplant or a stroke? That's something that I believe we're in a service industry, not a sales industry. And if you've been on my webinars before, you've probably heard this, but I believe our job is to educate our consumers on the risk that they have and the financial peril that they could have if anything like this happens. And then we educate them on how to protect themselves and their family from that potential financial peril. And sales come really easy after that. I know I'm simplifying it, and it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3, but really, if we do a good job in education, I do think sales are a natural byproduct of that. Now, let's talk about the needs and the costs. As you see on your screen here, these are the things that you and I would probably have if we were in a room writing on a whiteboard, what people would have to have, the additional costs if they ever had a diagnosis, right? But one of the cool things about our product is we do not care what the consumer uses the benefit for. They don't have to go to any specific network. They can see any doctor or go to any hospital that they choose, and they can spend the money on whatever they want. I actually talked to an agent. I thought this was a really, really neat thing. They had a client that had a cancer benefit, and she told me that they actually used the cancer benefit. Her client unfortunately had a terminal cancer diagnosis. So what they wanted to use their cancer benefit for was to go on a celebration of life trip with their loved ones. I thought, wow, what an amazing opportunity that you gave your client and their family that they may not have had otherwise, right? And I was glad to have, at least by some proxy, being an employee of Cigna to be a part of that. So even though there's a ton of things on the screen now, please don't pigeonhole your clients' needs into what we think that they need to spend the money on. I really think positioning this is for anybody, right? As we saw, almost 40% of men and women are going to be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Oh, there's so many people having heart attacks and strokes nowadays. Just the two people talking to you on the phone right now within the last week or two have known people. If that doesn't tell you there's a need, I don't know what would. But, I think it's really important, again, to position this as an education, right? These are the facts. These are not scare-tastic. These are medically proven statistics of your potential for cancer, for example. Hey, we've got a product that can help shield you from what could be financial peril. God forbid if that ever happens to you or somebody you love. And why don't you let me help you with that? So let's talk product for a bit. This product is really flexible. And so what it can be sold is one of three ways. It can be sold cancer standalone, heart attack and stroke standalone, or cancer, heart attack, and stroke together. Now, if you're selling them together, no problem. All you do is pick one as the base. Most people use cancer as the base, but it really doesn't matter. And you add the other as a rider. So it's really simple. The underwriting and costs and everything are exactly the same, regardless of which one you choose as the base and which one you choose as the rider. However, keep in mind they are separate buckets of money. So let's say you have both. You sold both the customer, and that customer gets diagnosed with cancer 1 year, and then 3 years down the road, they still have the policy, they have a heart attack. Well, not only have they had bad luck, bad health, but the good news is they would actually get a benefit for each if they bought both of those. So it's really nice to have those buckets of money. Also could be different. They don't have to be the same. So if you sell both and a customer has family history of, let's say, internal cancer, they may want a higher cancer benefit than their heart attack and stroke benefit. Again, this is a flexible product, so no problem at all. Maybe they want a $25,000 cancer benefit and a $10,000 heart attack and stroke benefit, or vice versa. Sure, easy to do. You can do that all either on our paper app or our e-app platform. So let's talk about cancer. I'm going to make this discussion pretty easy on what we cover. We cover any internal cancer at first diagnosis at 100%, period. Any internal cancer, first diagnosis, we pay 100% of the benefit. We even cover carcinoma in situ, which there are still companies out there that only cover that at 25% of the benefit. With Cigna, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about 5 or 10 years down the road, your client, what if they do have a cancer diagnosis and then they forgot that is reduced for carcinoma in situ. With us, all you have to do is say any internal cancer, first diagnosis, Cigna is going to cut you a check for insert benefit amount here, right? So it's super easy to discuss with your clients. Our heart attack and stroke works similar, but there are some differences. So I want to take a minute to go through this. So if they have a heart attack or need of a heart transplant, we do pay immediately 100% of the benefit. However, if they do have a stroke, we do require lingering effects to last for at least 30 days before the stroke benefit will be paid. Now, for those of you who have been doing this for a while, you probably realize that that's pretty normal for a policy like this. But for those of you who are new, that is pretty normal for a policy like this. Most carriers out there require 30 to 60 days of lingering effects. Now, if you were paying attention earlier, I also told you that there's roughly 92 million Americans right now living with after effects of a stroke. So again, very normal. Please don't be alarmed, but also make sure you're aware, make sure your clients are aware of that requirement. We do some things that I really love on this, in that we accelerate some benefit if your client ever needs to have a preventative procedure like coronary artery bypass surgery, aortic surgery, heart valve repair replacement, angioplasty, or stents. Now, as you see, those first three will accelerate up to 25% of the benefit, and the last two up to 10%. Those are to really help pay for copays and deductibles, but again, we don't care what the client uses the money for. Whatever is important to them, they're welcome to do. It is important to know, though, however, that we will only accelerate once in a client's lifetime. So let's say a client has a $10,000 heart attack and stroke benefit and needs to go get coronary artery bypass surgery. They're going to reach out to you. You're going to help them submit the claim. What we do then is we pay them 25%, which would be $2,500. The other $7,500 we reserve should they ever have a heart attack, need a heart transplant, or a stroke with lingering effects for at least 30 days. These are the riders. So again, those of you in the dark blue states on the map, you would get any and all of these riders available in your states. For those of you who sold in the green states, it would be the left side only. So the last couple riders would not be available for you quite yet in your state. We'll talk about these in detail right now. So we have reoccurrence and restoration riders available. Folks, don't let the different names confuse you. They work exactly the same way. Reoccurrence is what we call it on cancer, and restoration is what we call it on heart attack and stroke. So what happens is these make the policy not sort of like a one and done for a specific thing, like cancer is not one and done, or heart attack and stroke is not one and done. And the way they work is simple. Let's say, again, unfortunately, your client has a policy but does get a diagnosis of internal cancer. Well, if they have the reoccurrence rider at 2 years of free of treatment and diagnosis, they'd have built up 25% of the benefit again. At 5 years, 75%, and at 10 years, 100% of the benefit. So I've been asked, hey, why wouldn't they just wait 5 years and buy a new one? Well, here's my honest answer, and it's twofold. First of all, as most of you know that have been doing this for a while, rate slopes get pretty steep as our clients age, right? So you would want to sell this on it because as they age, the rates are going to get more expensive. This locks in the younger age because it's issue age rated, not attained age. Second of all, and really in my opinion, probably more important, is horrible diseases like cancer and cardiovascular diseases that cause heart attacks and strokes, etc. They don't wait for our timelines. So unfortunately, people who have had stuff like that in the past are statistically more likely to have another diagnosis in the future. Well, are you willing to risk your client's health and financial well-being for them to save a couple bucks a month and not buy a reoccurrence or restoration rider? And I said a couple bucks a month because it's true. For a 65-year-old, a $5,000 cancer reoccurrence benefit is roughly $2.60 a month. So why wouldn't you talk to them about it and add that? I mean, I went to Starbucks the other day, and my large drink was over $5. So really, you know, if you put it in perspective of what's important, why wouldn't they consider that? Now we have these riders. We have the hospital indemnity rider, the ICU rider, and the combo rider. What these do is help offset costs if your customer is actually admitted in the hospital or ICU. If they're only worried about one, just pick that and do it that way. If they want both, I would sell them that third rider on the screen, which is the combo, the hospital indemnity and ICU rider. It's a really nice rider. We sell it a lot. Keep in mind when you pick a daily benefit, that's for a hospital. If they are admitted in the ICU, the benefit doubles. So whatever daily benefit on the combo rider you pick for the regular hospital indemnity rider, it will double if they're ever admitted in the ICU. Now, our ROP rider is great, especially if you're sitting down with a client who is like an accountant mind or an engineering mind who's doing calculations on cost and benefit, and then they look at you and they say, but what if I never, right? What if I die and I never have cancer and never have a heart attack and stroke? Here's, you know, big corporate Cigna taking the little guy's money and I get nothing out of it. Well, if that's really their concern, here's where you talk about the return of premium rider. It's awesome, guys. Now, it is an at-death return of premium. It is not I changed my mind and give me my money back in 2 or 3 years. But with that, at death, if the client doesn't have a claim, we'll reimburse the beneficiary every penny that they paid into the policy. But it gets better. If they paid in more than we've paid out in claims, because let's say they had a small claim, like on your screen, we paid for a stent. Yeah, we paid out a benefit, but they still paid in more. We'll still take the difference of what they paid in and what we paid out and pay that to the beneficiary. So if they have their return of premium rider with us on this policy, and they cannot lose a penny, period. End of discussion. So it's a great opportunity to have that conversation with a person who's truly concerned about that. Now, we're going to get into our new riders again. If you're in those blue states, these will still be available for you. This benefit builder is probably the rider that's taken our cancer, heart attack, and stroke and really set it apart from the competitor products out there. I believe now with all the riders we have available, it's the most comprehensive lump sum cancer, heart attack, and stroke product on the market today. So here's how Benefit Builder works. Your client buys a policy. Let's say the example on the screen right now is a $20,000 base, right? Well, they have a choice to either add growth of $500 or $1,000 every year with Benefit Builder. Now, the way that works is it grows every policy anniversary by whatever they choose for up to 35 years. So it's really great because it helps with a few things. It helps them get more benefit, but it also helps protect your policy. Because in 10 years, yeah, they're going to be older, so it'll be a little harder for somebody to come in and replace. But let's say somebody has a new policy that's got a really, really aggressive rate in 10 years. Well, folks, it's a lot easier in 10 years for that agent to replace a $20,000 benefit than a $30,000 benefit, right? Which this would have grown to with a $1,000 growth. So this is how I would talk to a client about this product or a rider. You know, I look at it like an inflation protection rider, even though it's a flat dollar amount, not a percentage. And what I would say is it reasonable to assume if you got diagnosed with cancer today, it would cost you more out of pocket than it would have 10, 20, or 30 years ago? Well, of course, most of our customers are going to say, yeah, everything costs more today. Well, if they say that, then my next statement would be something like, well, then is it reasonable to assume if you get diagnosed with cancer in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it'll cost you more out of pocket then than it would today? Now, when they say yes, that's a great opportunity to talk to them about Benefit Builder, because what they're doing is for an incremental amount of premium, they're actually growing their benefit over time. Now, one thing to keep in mind, when you add Benefit Builder, it goes on the base policy. So if you sell cancer as the base and add heart attack and stroke on the rider, Benefit Builder is only on the cancer. Vice versa, if you do it the other way. Now, if they want Benefit Builder on both, no problem. Just sell two standalone policies. We do this all day, every day. Super easy on Agent View with our e-app. So a cancer standalone and a heart attack and stroke standalone, and you can actually add Benefit Builder to both. So different ways to skin the cat, but depending on what the client needs, that may be a great way to go. Here's our radiation and chemo benefit. I love this. It really depends, but everybody that has radiation or chemo, they have all these out-of-pocket expenses. If you work with clients, especially on MA, Medicare Advantage, there's co-insurance requirements for this stuff. What a great opportunity, again, to help your clients pay for those required things that they're responsible for financially. There's 3 different levels of coverage. Prime is the lowest level, Advantage the middle level, and Supreme the highest amount of coverage. As you see here, it covers everything on your screen with immunotherapies, chemotherapies, anti-nausea drugs, radiation, and it even covers experimental treatment for cancer. Now, as most of you know that sell Medicare products, experimental medication is not covered traditionally by Medicare, but we have a benefit for it here on this rider. Now, it does have to be NCI approved, but we'll cover up to 30 days of that. So a nice little added benefit for our clients. This rider right here I really, really love, and it's probably the most undersold rider that we've got on this product. It's a lump sum specified disease and critical illness rider. As you see, it covers ALS, which is commonly referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease, coma, end-stage renal, major organ transplants, MS, paralysis, loss of sight, loss of hearing, loss of speech, and severe burns. Those are all covered at the full benefit. Alzheimer's dementia, where covered, is covered at half the benefit. It's really important to know that. Guys, at first I was disappointed when we started talking about this, but when the actuaries told me that our choice is based on how often Alzheimer's dementia is diagnosed, our choice was either not to have a benefit or to have half a benefit. I took half a benefit all day. So again, lump sum benefit, $5,000 to $50,000, available 18 to 74. Now, guys, just to give you a perspective on why I think this is such a good value, it's because of the cost. At $65, a $5,000 lump sum specified disease critical illness rider here is like $1.62 a month. You can barely buy a Coke for $1.62 at McDonald's, but again, $1.65 a month adds 5,000 lump sum coverage for everything you see on your screen here. What a great opportunity to, again, help shield your clients and help them pay for those extra bills and costs if they ever have anything like this. And our last rider available is our accident indemnity rider. Now, again, as you see, covers a lot. There's 3 different levels of coverage: Prime, Advantage, and Supreme, similar to the radiation and chemo. This one's great because, again, as we talked about earlier, we want people to be more active, right? It helps them be more healthy. Well, with that, sometimes people have accidents. Did you know the #1 cause of visits to the ER in the U.S. every year are slips and falls? A lot of that is because people are active, and when they're active by default, sometimes things happen. Well, again, what a great opportunity to add a little more coverage for a nominal cost of this accident. The other great thing about our accident rider and our standalone accident product is there's never any underwriting. We don't ask underwriting questions. So it doesn't matter how short, tall, big, or small, what they do for a living or anything, they can get a policy. I'm going to go through these very quickly, but these are just some price examples for you of Benefit Builder added, depending on what age market you work with. Like this is a 42-year-old. We added Benefit Builder and the Return to Premium rider. As you see, we were able to keep that $20,000 policy for this client under $30 a month. Now here's our underwriting. It just gives you a rough idea of what we're looking for. Really, the look back period on cancer and heart attack and stroke is 5 years now. That was a big win for us. For those of you who've sold for us in the past, it used to be 10-year look back. So the great thing about that, on top of the fact that we were able to change that, is we did not negatively impact your consumer's rates or your commission. So we were able to keep those the same. So let's talk really quick about the application. We've got what I think is probably the easiest app in the industry. This is what it looks like when you log into Agent View, which is our agent website. What you do is, if you see near the one, you click on Express App 2.0. It takes you to a screen like this. So at the bottom of the screen, you're going to notice John and Jane Doe. That's where it'll show any application you've either started or finished in the past. It also has things you can click on, like the declinable drug list, height and weight guidelines, etc. But if you're starting a new quote, you just fill out the information on the left, the 1, 2, 3, 4, which is super easy. And then it'll take you to policy selection. Now, if you see where the green check mark is near cancer lump sum, that's actually going to have a section with every product that we offer. So let's say you wanted to sell MedSup and a lump sum cancer, heart attack, and stroke. You could actually click on all of those, and it imports every question to do that coverage in the same area. And then all you do is hit submit, and we're going to issue multiple policies. So we'd issue a MedSup, and then we'd issue a cancer. So it's really nice. But let's say you're just doing cancer lump sum and adding the heart attack and stroke as a rider. That's simple. You click on cancer, you fill out this information or select it, the 1, 2, 3 here, which is really self-explanatory. You're going to answer a few other questions, and then you're going to be done. When you submit, it's really easy. All you do is get some information from the customer, a security question and answer, and I believe it's the last 4 of their social. You do not have to have them do a telephone interview as long as the lump sum benefits on an individual basis. So cancer, heart attack and stroke, if all of those are under 50,000, not combined, but standalone, you're good. You don't even have to do a phone verification call. All you do is type phone sale in the signature, and you're done. You hit submit, and you're done. On the rare occasion that you do sell, let's say you sell a $75,000 cancer lump sum benefit, that's when you have to do the telephone interview. Anything over 50,000, so keep that in mind. So this is how it works, really simple. You call the customer. I know most of us are still meeting over the phone. I can't wait till we can get back to regular face-to-face visits with our customers, but right now I know most of us are still doing business over the phone. So you call them, you finish the app. You only do that middle part again if you have to, if the benefit on any individual lump sum is over 50,000, and then you submit the app. So it's super, super easy, folks. Even if you've never done this on our e-app, I promise you do it 2 or 3 times and you're going to love it. And then I always like to finish with some fun stuff. We're actually doing some incentives this year for our agents. I'm going to skip over to the far right bottom. Right now we're doing $25 an app for any sub-health app, additional on top of regular commissions. And as you see, we're also doing a couple really good incentives based for MedSup. Now, keep in mind, there are some state requirements, so we can't do every incentive in every state. If you have a question, reach out to Todd and his team over there at Senior Insurance Marketing. They'll be able to help guide you on if they're available in your state. They are in most states, but there are a couple that we can't do every one. And then this is just our product portfolio. I won't spend much time on that, but we do offer more than the product we're talking about today. MedSup, hospital indemnity, final expense, and then we actually offer cancer treatment and accident treatment policies. So with that, guys, I'm done. Todd, thank you very much. Did we have any questions or anything that I can answer?
I don't see any questions in the Q&A box, but give us a call here at Senior Insurance Marketing. Our number is 877-800-3080, and I'll be happy to help you out to get contracted with Cigna if you're not contracted with Cigna. But if you are, happy to help you with explanation of product, quotes, supplies, whatever the case may be. We're here to help you grow your business. So give us a call here at Senior Insurance Marketing, and we'll be excited to help you out, and so you can help you and also your client out. And again, like I mentioned earlier, and also Jim, how many people that unfortunately have had cancer or have had a heart attack or have had a stroke, and I know I can. For cancer, pretty much start with 2 hands and even go a little further. Unfortunately, people that I've known that have had cancer and that. So I don't see any questions. Jim, I really appreciate your time today telling us about the Cigna Cancer, Heart Attack, and Stroke. A great product, great company. And give us a call here at Senior Insurance Marketing, 877-800-3080, or go to our website at www.simkt.com and contact us through our website, and we'll be happy to help you out as well too. So take care, everyone, and have a great day. And thanks again, Jim. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Todd. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.